Hello and welcome to part 2 of the Free Spirit Poncho crochet along. So we now have our center flowers, all 4 of them done, and we are going to continue expanding our what will become our square. So we will start just where we left off last week. So we didn't fasten off this main color here, and so we are just going to continue from this point on. So you are here in the first back post single crochet of a group, and so right here we are going to chain 2. And now we are going to work a 2 DC cluster in the same stitch. So yarn over, just grabbing my tail, yarn over, pull through 2 and leave it. Again, yarn over, go through your stitch, bring up your yarn, yarn over, pull through 2. And so you now have 3 loops on your hook. So pull through all those loops. And actually with our initial chain 2, this is our first 3DC cluster. Now we are going to chain 2, work another 3DC cluster in the same stitch here. So this stitch is going to be a little busy. We may have to squeeze our stitches in, but it fits, don't worry. So another cluster. Yarn over, go to the same stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, again. Same thing, and again, same thing. Okay, so now we have 4 loops on our hook. That's because we didn't chain 2 at the beginning. We actually made 3 parts of a DC cluster. So now we want to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And then chain 2 again and work another 3DC cluster in the same stitch here. So 1, 2, and 3. We have our 4 loops again, and we close the cluster. Okay, so we now have a 3 clusters all in the same stitch. Now what we want to do is chain 2. We are going to skip 2 stitches here, but just be careful because this one here is a bit hidden by the clusters we just made. So that's the first stitch we are skipping. This is the second, and we are going to the third, and we are working a single crochet in this third stitch. Chain 2 again. Now we're just gonna skip 1 stitch, this one here, go to the next one, work another single crochet, chain 2 again, skip next stitch, this one here, go to the next one, work a single crochet, and we are going to do this one more time. Chain 2, skip the next stitch, single crochet in the next one, and now we are going to chain 2. We will skip the next 2 stitches. those one here, and we will work in this stitch here, which is the first stitch of the next petal. So in this one, just like here, we are going to work 3 clusters. So remember, skip this one, work here. Okay. So this is my first cluster. I'm going to chain 2, make another one. So 1, 2, and 3. That's my second cluster, all in the same stitch. Chain 2 again. Another third cluster. Chain 2. Again, be careful not to miss this stitch here, which we are actually going to be skipping, but just be sure not to skip too many stitches. So we are going to skip those 2 stitches and work in the third, and just continue with the repeat. So after a group of 3 clusters, you will always chain 2, skip 2 stitches, work a single in the next stitch, and then chain 2, skip 1, single in the next, 3 times. And then again, after this single here, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and work your group of 3 clusters. And that's how you're gonna do it all around. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so I'm here at the end of round 10, and so to join this round we need to make a slip stitch in this first cluster here. And there we go. So here is round 10. Now for round 11 we are going to slip stitch to this first chain 2 space here, and we are only going to be working in the chain 2 spaces all around. So now just chain 1 to get us to the correct height, and single crochet in the same chain 2 space. Now we're just gonna chain 2, single crochet in next chain 2 space, chain 2, single crochet in next chain 2 space, and that's what we're gonna do all around. So just be careful maybe with those chain 2 spaces here between clusters, because sometimes they're just bulked up and you can see them right away. So just be sure to work in every chain 2 space around. And I'll meet you to join. Okay, so I'm at the end of my round, and so I've made my last chain 2, and now what we need to do is join to this first single crochet here. So again, not this one, because that's the chain 1, but really the first single crochet. So we just make a slip stitch right here, and round 11 is complete. And so round 12 is actually exactly the same as the previous round. So just like last time, on last round, we are making a slip stitch in next chain 2 space, chain 1 just to get us to the correct height, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in next chain 2 space, chain 2, and so on. So just repeat the same thing you did on last round, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 12, and so just like last time, join here in the first single of the round with a slip stitch. So that's it for round 12. Now for our next round, again we are going to slip stitch in the next chain 2 space here, and we are going to be working HDC bead stitches all around, and we will also be joining the picots of the flowers here. Okay, so for the half double bead stitch, just chain 1 to get you to the correct height, work a half double crochet just as normal. Now what you need to do is just as if you're working a puff stitch, yarn over, and you are gonna go all around this half double you just made. Grab a loop and pull through, and we are going to do this 3 times. So that's 1, that's 2, and this is 3. And now we are just gonna yarn over and pull through everything there. And so this is our first bead stitch. Now we don't chain 1, we don't do anything, we just go straight to the next chain 2 space, work another half double and a bead around it. So 1, 2, and 3. Pull through all the loops. Okay, and so just gonna show you, because this bead stitch is a little particular, because as you can see here, you have 2 sets of loops. So this loop is the one from your half double crochet, and this loop here is the set of loops from your bead itself. So each time you work a bead stitch, which is half double crochet and the bead, you will end up with 2 sets of loops. So just so you know, on the next round, those loops, each bead stitch is counted as 2 stitches. So when I tell you to go in the next stitch, if you're here, you're going to go here. So we just count like always. And so let me show you one more time. So yarn over and just go straight to the next chain 2 space, work your half double crochet. So this here is your loop from your half double crochet, and then work a bead. So 1, 2 and 3. Go through all those loops around it, and so right here you have the loop from the bead itself. Okay, and so now we have worked 3 bead stitches in every chain 2 space here. Now for the next one, what we are going to do is that before we go in the next chain space, we are going to go through the center of the picot here, and then with our picot on our hook, we are just going through the next chain 2 space as normal. And so pull through everything here and complete your half double. So you have just joined your petal. So now complete the bead stitch, and there you go. Now for the repeat, what you are going to do is work a half double bead stitch in next 6 chain 2 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and then on the 7th one you're gonna join this picot again, and that's what you're gonna do all around. So you will have 6 bead stitches without a picot attached, and on the 7th one you have the picot. So I'll just show you for the first repeat. So here I have worked my bead stitch attached to the picot, so now 6 times not attached. So that's gonna be 1, that's gonna be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I actually yarned over too many times here, so let me just go back. Okay, I'm just gonna do this again. One, 2 and 3. Now I've lost my count, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I need one more unattached. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here are my 6 unattached bead stitches. So for the next one I'm going to first go through the center of the picot, and now that I'm in the picot, I'm also going through my next chain 2 space. and working a bead stitch around it. Okay, and so that's what you're going to do all the way around. So I'm here at the end of my round, and I'm just going to show you how to join. So remember, each of our bead stitches has a half double crochet and the bead itself. And so we need to join in this first half double crochet and just work a slip stitch. Okay, and here you go. For this round we are going to start by a chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, so the first half double, and then we are going to chain 2, we will skip this bead stitch here, and we are going to work in this next half double crochet. So the half double crochet is always kind of between the beads, and that's what we're going to do for the whole round. So chain 2, single crochet in next half double, chain 2, single crochet in next half double, so between the beads, and so on until you reach the end of the round here. Okay, so I'm here at the end of my round, and so I've chained 2 after my last single crochet, and now what I need to do is join in this first single crochet of the round. Okay, and that's it. So this is round 14, and for the next round we are actually going to do the same thing as we did here before the beads. So we are going to slip stitch in the next chain 2 space, chain 1 and single crochet in the same chain 2 space, and we are going to work chain 2, single crochet in next space, so skipping all the single crochet from the last round, and then chain 2 again, single crochet in next chain 2 space, and that's what we're gonna do all around. So again, I'll let you do your round just exactly the same way, and I'll catch up with you at the end of this round. So I finished my round here, and so as usual we are going to join to this first single crochet of the round with a slip stitch. Okay, there. Now, next round is actually very similar to those last 2 rounds. What we're going to do is slip stitch to the next chain 2 space as usual, chain 1 and work single crochet here in this space, and now the only thing that changes is the number of chains. Up until now we've been working chain 2 spaces and then single crochet. In this round what we're going to do is chain 3 and single crochet in next chain 2 space. Then again chain 3, single crochet in next chain 2 space. And so that's what we're going to do for the whole round. So again, I'll let you do this and I'll meet you to join. Okay, so I'm done with my round, and as usual we are going to join in this first single crochet right here, and that's it. Now for the next round you're just going to repeat the exact same thing. So slip stitch in the next chain space, chain 1, single crochet in same space, chain 3, single crochet in next space, and so on. And so I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so I'm finished with my round, and as usual closing with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of this round, and here. So now we have done our little mesh section in the middle of our what will become our square, and in the next round we are going to make shells. So slip stitch to the next chain 3 space. Now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this chain 3 here, that's going to count as our first double crochet. And so we need to make 6 more double crochet in this same chain 3 space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so with the starting chain 3 we have 7 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to go directly to the next chain 3 space, and we're going to work a single crochet in this space. Okay, and that's going to be our repeat. So 7 double crochet in next chain 3 space, single crochet in next chain 3 space. So I'm going to show you once more. 7 double crochet here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now single crochet in the next chain 3 space right here. And here we go. So that's what you're going to do all around, and so at the end here you should have a single crochet in this space here, and you should have 28 shells. And so I'm going to meet you to join this round. Okay, so I've worked my round of shells, and so I finished on a single crochet in this last chain 3 space here, and now I'm going to join to the third starting chain, okay, which counts as our first double crochet. So here, and a slip stitch, and here we go. Okay, so now we are going to fasten off our main color. And as usual, chain 1, pulling the end through, so it's all secure. And here. Okay, so for our next round of part 2, we are going to need our contrasting color 2, so the same one as the puff stitches here. And we are going to join with a standing front post double crochet. So a slip knot on the hook, just as usual. And now we will need to join under any of these single crochets here, so between our shells, but we're not going to join in this stitch here, in this single crochet we just worked on our last round. We are going to join in this one. So let me just show you again the placement. So we have right here our single crochet worked in the last round, and we are going to join directly below in this single crochet here. So not this one, because this one's a little to the left, and not this one, because it's a little to the right. Really directly below this single crochet. Okay, so for a standing front post double crochet, we yarn over, holding our yarn here on the hook, and so really under any single crochet. So again, I have my single crochet here from my last round, and I'm gonna join right here just below with a front post double crochet. And here we go. Now we are going to go back to our last round. So we have the single crochet right here. We're not going to work in this one. We're going to go straight to the first double crochet of our next shell. So this one here, and we are going to work a slip stitch here. Okay, now we are going to work a slip stitch in the next 6 stitches. So we're putting a slip stitch in every double crochet of the shell. Okay, so that's the last one here. And so we're framing our shells, getting a little colored frame here around it. And so here we're at our single crochet again. So we're not going to work in this one, but instead we're going to work a front post double crochet just below here. So again, not here and not here, but directly below, right there. So front post double crochet. And again, we go straight to our first double crochet of the next shell, and we're going to work a slip stitch in every double crochet of this shell. Okay, so that's gonna be our repeat. We're gonna put a slip stitch in every double crochet from the last round, and we are going to skip those single crochets here between shells, and instead we are working a front post double crochet just below. So I'm gonna let you do that and I'll meet you. Okay, so I have finished my round. So I've worked my last slip stitch here on my last double crochet, and so I'm gonna join to this first standing double crochet with a slip stitch. And now just fasten off and chain one and pull through. Okay, so that's it. Part 2 is finished. So as for part 1, you're going to need 4 of those. So happy stitching, and I'll see you next week.